remind everyone that this show is brought to you by the Dolphin Wars.
Hello, everybody. How is everybody on this busy Wednesday afternoon? I can't believe how many streams are out there today. I would wish everybody to have a great day, and hopefully you're going to enjoy what's going on today. Good evening to the best pod in YouTube. I just wanted to say how glad I was that we had so much fun on Saturday. That was an amazing show. 4.5 hours of fun, and it flew by fast. It really did. And the good stuff continues as of today. Thank you for joining us for another special King Dolphin television episode. This is going to be the debut of King Dolphin Radio. What I'd like to do with this show, if it works out, is we're going to do dramatic readings, copyright permitting, of course. For the first one, what I did previously is I put a portion of the All's Fair prologue on the teaser before we officially started the channel, but I decided to remake it with the help of the amazing Antiderivative Jill. Welcome, Jill.
Hello.
And I'm glad you're having a great week, and I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, me too. Ready to go, and so is Snoopy.
Yes, I hear him in the background. I hope... Oh, there's a truck beeping out there. He hates backup things. But hopefully he'll calm down. And actually, it's amazing. Snorter Poopus says, by some odd coinky-dink and totally unplanned, the bear is wearing his Devil Race Squadron t-shirt. Hail Snorter Poopus and showing your love for the Dolphin Wars. That's awesome.
Hello, Snortpoopus.
That is awesome. So, let us welcome the chat before we get going and give Snoopy a chance to calm down. The Wrench Team Supreme. We've got Legatus Legionii, Philo, first in, last out. How you doing, buddy? And we've got, of course, wearing the Dolphin Wars shirt, Snorter Poopus! Cuber! As he slinks down into his lair. How you doing, Snort? And we had John Rendell very quickly show up. He couldn't stay, but he's here. And of course, the producer, my better half, the keeper of sanity here. The producer and Wrench Wench, Sandra. How you doing, honey?
Hi, Sandra.
And right now, we also have in the chat, we have Lord Thoth. Thank you for coming. And we have Lenrod. And I'm sorry about the cleaning fluids. Sorry about the cleaning fluids bothering your eyes. So hopefully you get better. Okay, before we get started on the reading, before we actually get started, I wish we had the proper old style radio music, but YouTube would probably smack us for that. So sorry, guys. Now, before we start the reading, I would like to ask for your help so that everybody enjoys it and to avoid any distraction for either of us two. Please refrain from any comments until the reading's done. If you want to comment on something specific or a part of the reading, you can put it in. Sandra will be keeping an eye on it and will mark it for us. And then after the reading, we'll interact with you and comment on anything you wanted to say. So, without further ado, Jill, are we ready?
Yes, we're
All
ready.
right. All right. Okay. The Dolphin Wars, All Sphere, a Dolphin Wars novel by Raymond Feliciano. Read by Raymond Feliciano and Antiderivative Jill.
It was a good time for the people on Earth. After dealing with the horrors of a Third World War, overpopulation, and resource depletion, humans developed technology to take them into space. They formed the first colonies in 2050 on the Moon and Mars. However, the problems that caused conflict on Earth simply migrated to the colonies. In order to keep peace in the colonies, the United Earth government organized the Space Defense Force. Despite this, tensions between Earth and the Martian colonies continued until they flared and became the brief but violent conflict of Martian independence in the early part of the 22nd century. It was July 8th, 2136, and while in the officers' crew quarters of the escort carrier Gregory Pappy Boyington, the alarm buzzed loudly until a man's hand knocked it to the floor. After it crashed on the floor, a soft female voice with a Mediterranean accent said, "Real mature, Lieutenant Ando."
Lieutenant Tranando rose from his bed and said, "Sorry, Lieutenant Levy, but you know I hate alarms." He rose from his rack and said, "It's times like this that I miss fishing with Grandpa in the South China Sea." He looked down at the young woman just rising from his bed. She looked fit and athletic. Her tan skin only had one mark, a small birthmark in the shape of a dolphin on her back between her shoulder blades. Tran always thought it looked sexy. "So, Tanya, who did you buy off to night fly this mission?"
Pah, you know darn well why. Captain Dickhead just had to have the best pilot in the wing on his road to glory. Tanya turned, and rose from the bed and walked around in her nightshirt. She walked over and kissed Tran on his back. "I wish I could fly with you, but he stuffed me away at Pryfly and the CIC today." Pryfly was responsible for controlling the carrier's flight operations, and the Combat Information Center handled the strike operations.
"I knew he would succeed in breaking up the best team in the wing. I really have a bad feeling about this op."
Yes, and you told me this 10 times before. I also have a feeling of impending doom, but we do our duty, Lieutenant Ando. I really have to go now. I gotta get the ready room set up now, before I go to Pryfly. She got up and kissed him and jumped into her sweats.
"Hey, wait, I want to say something." But she already left his cabin.
Lieutenant Tran Ando and Lieutenant Junior Grade J.G. Tanya Levin were both flyers in the 103rd Fighter Squadron assigned to Carrier Fighter Wing 116 on board the Space Carrier Pappy Boyington, the flagship of the Carrier Battle Group 1, CBG-1. CBG-1 consisted of the Boyington, its carrier strike wing, CVW-116, and 3 destroyer escorts. The battle group was in orbit around Mars as part of its support role for the 1st Marine Expeditionary Force. It was the UEG Defense Command's desire to end the war as soon as possible before public opinion on Earth went against this conflict. Operation Bright Wind was planned to defeat the Martian insurgents. The task force consisted of CBG-1, the assault ship Iwo Jima, and 5 support cruisers.
The best pilot was indeed Tran Nguyen Ando, born in Hanoi in 2110 to Nguyen Ando, one of the richest men on the planet, and his late wife, Irena Katerina. His father was the owner of East Wind Shipping Company and the descendant of Vietnam's greatest general, Vo Nguyen Giap. East Wind Shipping was a diverse company consisting of a fleet of fishing trawlers, cruise ships, tankers, and heavy lift vessels. East Wind vessels could be seen everywhere around the oceans of the world. They had ports in every port city worldwide, with the headquarters residing in Haiphong, Vietnam. The Ando family had a sprawling estate located in Da Nang on Hon La Island, a few miles off of the mainland that kept them secluded from outsiders.
Tran's mother was a beautiful Jewish Ukrainian woman from Odessa. He inherited his mother's striking blonde hair and his father's Vietnamese eyes and features. He was 6 feet tall and had a fit swimmer's physique and muscles honed by life on the sea. His memories were of her doting on him and inspiring him to be the very best he could be. When he was a teenager, she was mauled by sharks while boating with his father. His father was maimed trying to save her, and her death haunted him all his life.
Tran was raised with a love of the sea and exploration, so he kept it up despite his mother's tragic death. He was an accomplished scuba and deep sea diver. However, his desires were elsewhere. Whenever he sailed in his father's ships and looked into the stars at night, he knew he wanted to be up there exploring their beauty and majesty. Tran originally wanted to follow in his father's footsteps, so he worked diligently to learn that craft. He started at the age of 12 on the decks of the fishing trawlers, hauling fish on board. Then he progressed as a deckhand on the cruise ships and worked in the engineering spaces with the Black Gang. At the age of 17, just before he went into Space Defense Force Naval Academy, he earned his shipmaster, any ocean, any tonnage rating. Finally, he entered the academy in 2127. At first, he wanted to be a ship driver to follow in his father's steps, but life had a way of changing things. After he did a cadet tour of a Space Defense Force fighter base and had a flight in one of the older space fighters, he wanted to be an aviator and transferred to the Flight Academy. He graduated 10th out of 1,500 in the class of 2131 and then went to flight school. During undergraduate flight training, he impressed his instructors with his natural flying ability and graduated first in his class. He spent the next 3 years learning all he could about being in fighter combat and found that one could never know too much about it. Tran became an instructor and flight lead in his squadron. Then he went to the Fighter Weapons School, FWS, to become an expert in aerial combat and tactics. It was when he graduated from FWS and returned to his squadron to be the weapons and tactics officer that the first shots of the so-called Martian War of Independence were fired. A group of miners on Mars rebelled against the government, and they claimed that the UEG was exploiting them and the planet's resources. It soon escalated into a full-fledged armed conflict in which they used a combination of stolen equipment and old material to fight the war successfully.
Ando's wing was put on an escort carrier and sent into combat around Mars in 2136. After he flew some combat missions, he knew that his life and training had brought him to this point. He became familiar with the pain of loss, when, after hard combat missions, he would return to empty seats in the squadron ready room. This only steeled his resolve. He also let someone into his personal life, and that someone was Lieutenant Junior Grade Tanya Levy, who was a replacement in his flight. Tanya Ariana Levy was born in a kibbutz just outside of Tel Aviv, Israel. Her father was the head of shipping in Israel and was a good friend of Noen Anjo, who had a shipping operation at the port of Haifa. She was intelligent, athletic, and with her striking looks, never had a shortage of suitors. She was 2 years older than Tran, and the first time the two of them met was memorable for both of them. They met at a reception for Tran's parents at Jerusalem when she was 16, and as he remembered that time, it went badly for him.
Tran entered the ballroom and looked at the young woman. He said haughtily, "So, Levy, it's been a long time."
Ah, Ando, you are still a little boy. I remember your bat mitzvah.
"What do you mean, little boy? I'm smarter, richer, and better than you. I saw your bat mitzvah, and I did so much better than you."
Yeah, you have to be one up on me, but you will never be better.
"Pah! I know I'm better." He looked smugly, and during the party, he continued to behave like he was God's gift to everyone. Tanya had enough of his arrogance and punched him in front of everyone. Everyone who saw this was mortified that she would be so bold as to humiliate the son of a rich and famous personage such as Nguyen Ando. Nguyen, however, laughed and said, "You know, my son, you did deserve that. Always remember this and be careful of women." Her father said, "Nguyen, my friend, this could be the start of a beautiful relationship." As he was gently chastised by both of them, he seethed and swore he would get back with her. They hadn't seen each other since. Tanya worked with her father on various tasks and pursued her degree in chemical engineering at MIT. She had no desire to enter the Space Defense Force at first, and she was 25 when she decided to get her commission and enter flight school. She graduated from her Dragon qualification training when she received her orders to join the UES Pappy Boyington Carrier Battle Group to fight in the war. When she arrived there, she was shocked when she entered the ready room and saw the bane of her youth, Tran Ando. He looked at her in amusement and said, well, Lieutenant, I knew eventually I would have a chance to get payback."
She put her hands on her hips and scowled. She said, "What do you mean, Lieutenant? You deserved everything I gave you. I see the bruise healed nicely. I should have hit you harder."
"I probably did deserve it, Lieutenant Levy, but now, after all these years of torment, I get to pay you back. You see, you are my wingman." He snapped a picture of her shocked and discouraged look before she could react. The picture ended up in his berth for him to look at times to cheer him up.
Tran found that not much had changed from when they were younger. She was opinionated, she had her own ways of flying and fighting, and now she had an arrogant streak. Even though she was a natural pilot, he often had to rein her in. Eventually, they got into a rhythm and they became one of the best combat teams in the squadron. They were in sync without even speaking to each other. In the squadron ready room, when Ando started a sentence, Levy often finished it. It was only natural that their work relationship ended up as a romantic one. She was in love with Ando when she saw him again, and Ando was in love with her from the first punch all those years ago. She also had a tender side to her because she was able to temper his moods and helped him stay focused.
Ando entered the ready room at the same time as Tanya. Tanya obtained the mission information that she would need when she went to flight operations. Tran looked at the schedule board for the mission, hoping that it would change, but to his disappointment, it did not. Ando was assigned to be the Carrier Strike Wing, CAG's wingman during the operation. Ando felt that Maxwell, who was a marginal pilot at best, needed to have a real aviator on his wing to cover his six. Everyone knew that the only chance for Maxwell to get flag rank was to have a successful mission. Their mission was to support the Marine Assault Group by destroying a major transportation facility that the enemy was using to reinforce their main body. Ando knew that Maxwell normally went on milk runs, so it was assumed by everyone that Captain Dickhead, as he was called, had to flourish his war record in order to get his promotion. Tran said, "Oh, damn, this is not my day. Well, I better get my will made."
Tanya smiled at him and said, "You will do fine, Ando. You dance around raindrops. Now, what was it you wanted to say before I rushed off?"
Tran wanted to wait until he returned from the operation, but he had a bad feeling while knowing he didn't want to die without doing this last thing. He led her to one of the empty briefing rooms and closed the door. "Tanya, I wanted to wait until we got back, but I have a bad feeling about this, and I didn't want to die before asking you." He shocked her by getting down on one knee and, oblivious to the busybodies looking in the room, asked, "Tanya Ariana Levy, will you marry me?" He showed her a diamond ring in a box.
Tanya looked at him, kneeling down, with tears in her eyes, and said, "You sick bastard. This is your way of finally getting back at me for that punch, isn't it?"
Tran looked sheepishly and said, "Maybe that's the case, but I just don't want to die without you saying yes. It will give me something to come back to."
With mock anger, she said, "It would serve you right if I said no."
"Maybe, but please don't. I might have to toss myself out an airlock if you refuse."
"Well, I can't have that happen. The operation may be in jeopardy if we lose you, dummy." She snatched the ring from his hand and, to the cheers of the pilots in the ready room, put it on her left ring finger. She said, "Damn you, you son of a bitch. You better come back to me." They then hugged and kissed until the chime for them to gather for the mission briefing sounded.
The mission briefer started. "Well, boys and girls, this is the big one. This offensive should end the war. The MAG will be taking on the enemy's 1st Division in the Eridanian Plains. They have about 5,000 troops against our 15,000. Our mission is to destroy this choke point." He showed the target area on the projector. "Hawkeye 1 will lead the formation. That will be Captain Maxwell, Neptune, Bossman, and Sparky." The old tradition of individual call signs continued. It was a sign of the contempt that the wing held for Maxwell that his call sign or CAG was not used in the briefing. "Engine start at 0700. Time over target is 0800. Ando planned the mission and went into his individual flight briefing. As usual, he had to do the work for Maxwell, and he conducted most of the briefing for the flight. After the briefing, he stepped to the life support section, where he was assisted into his environmental suit and tested his helmet and oxygen gear. He drew his blaster and checked its charge. When he saw that everything was ready, he went with the rest of the aviators to the flight deck. Andrew walked to his Dragon space fighter and began his pre-flight of the plane and the ordnance. The plane was loaded with 2 racks of bombs and a full air-to-air missile load of 8, as well as machine guns. He was very thorough with his pre-flight, and as he checked every inch, every panel, and ordnance of his bird. Just before he entered the cockpit, he looked at Maxwell and noticed that he didn't pre-flight his jet, but just nodded at his plane captain and walked into the jet. The plane captain looked sullen, as he fully expected to do the work. Ando gave him a thumbs up to reassure him that everything will be all right. He then climbed into his cockpit, and while his plane captain hooked him up to the ejection seat and life support equipment, he heard, "Depressurization in 5 minutes." The hangar deck was a pressurized area and had to be depressurized in order to convert it into a flight deck in order to launch spacecraft. Ando powered up his fighter craft as the plane captain donned his helmet and waited. After the standby light came on, he started his engines and confirmed that the settings were normal. The plane captain gestured for him to taxi to the catapults. He taxied to his assigned catapult and prepared for the signal to launch. After Hawkeye 1 shot out, he braced himself to launch. The catapult shot him from the carrier. After he launched, Ando entered fingertip formation behind Hawkeye 1. Ando followed the flight lead over the Eridania Planitia as they descended to 250 feet above ground level, AGL. He looked at his moving map on his multi-function display, MFD, and saw that they were on course to the initial point, IP, for the bomb. As he expected, they reached the IP in 15 minutes, and it would be 5 minutes from the IP to the target. He set his switches to arm the bombs, and when they showed ready, he flashed his data link to show that he was ready for the bomb run. When they reached the IP in the plane, the enemy's air defenses were waiting for him. Tran did some evasive actions to the left and to the right so he could avoid the missiles. When he did that, he looked at the data link in order to see if there were any final changes before they started on the final split on the bomb run. Just as he started timing his bomb run, Maxwell led the flight on a standard bombing range formation. Tran growled to himself, "You asshole! You are worse than a nugget. I may get court-martialed, but if we survive this, I'm going to kick your ass." Tran wanted to get on the radio frequency to let him know that with this predictable run, they would be shot down immediately, but they were ordered to maintain radio silence. Tran turned quickly to the left and right or jinked to try and screw up their firing solution. Maxwell did nothing and kept flying straight. "That idiot is going to get us killed," Tran thought. Suddenly, the missile stopped as they continued their attack run. Tran started looking up into the sky and saw 16 enemy fighters at about 6 o'clock high. Being the first to see the large formation, Ando got on the combat frequency and shouted, 16 bogeys at 6 o'clock high. The enemy split up in 2 formations of 8 fighters to attack each flight of 4. Tran saw the first one and said, "Tally-ho!" He easily flew behind the enemy's wingmen and launched his first air-to-air missile. He said, "Fox 1." The missile flew unerringly into the enemy's exhaust tube and detonated. The enemy crashed into the ground. Ando pivoted and used his guns on the flight lead as he quickly got into the perfect firing solution. His guns blasted and tore off the enemy's tail, and it exploded. Maxwell had no situational awareness and was shot down, but he ejected safely. Once he got on the ground, he got on the emergency radio channel and in a slow-witted and scared voice said, "Hawkeye 1 on the ground." Andal saw the ejection and yelled an expletive. He felt he had to escort his lead safely to the ground. He would do that for anyone that was shot down, no matter how much of an asshole they were. He sent a friendly aircraft down report on the data link. When Andal determined that Maxwell was safely down, he flew away from the site so it would not pinpoint where the pilot landed. He saw 4 more enemy fighters converge on his position. He said, "Tally on 4 bogeys, I'm engaging." He flew toward the enemy fighters and fired on the lead fighter with a face shot, which obliterated the enemy instantly, and then pitched down and easily got into the wingman's 6 and fired a missile into the exhaust, destroying it. Andal saw 2 others heading toward the ground to strafe the downed aviator. Andal was amazed that they didn't even see him, and a missile launch and gunshot later destroyed them both. Andal was now an ace.
Meanwhile, at the Boyington's Combat Information Center, CIC, Tanya was monitoring her squadron frequency when the guard frequency came out with Ando's report. The initial report was that Air Wing Commander was shot down. She said to herself, "Damn you, Ando. I hate when you're right." She got on the intercom to Rescue Control. "Rescon, this is Control. We have an aircraft down report. It's the CAG. We need a Sandy." A Sandy was the code for a search and rescue mission. It consisted of an armed search and rescue SAR shuttle and 4 escort fighters. It launched from the carrier prior to the main strike package and held on station, waiting for the word if necessary and hoping that it would not be needed. This time, it was a forlorn hope. "Wilco Blaster, Sandy is on the way," the rescue controller said on the frequency. "ETA is 20 minutes. Tanya nodded, and inside she hoped that there wouldn't be any more casualties and that Tran would come home safe. She put a vision that she just had out of her mind as she monitored the operation.
Ando heard on the radio, "Hawkeye 2, this is Hawkeye 3. I'll continue the mission. You now have Sandy tasking. Stay here and support retrieval." Ando clicked his microphone 2 times and maintained a holding pattern, being careful to avoid revealing his position to any enemy forces as he waited for the SAR-craft. The remaining element flew on to continue its mission. On a hill overlooking the eastern Eridania Planitia, Lieutenant Colonel Johann Taylor, the commander of Battalion 3 of the 1st Liberation Division, looked at the Space Marine Force aligned against his forces and smiled. He said to himself, "Hawk Lu, you should see this, my love. All these troops gathered for only one purpose, to win our independence. Either we prevail or we die, but I would have it no other way. I will bring a trophy back to you, my love." He looked back to where he was before this. He was the leader of the 4th Mining Guild. The miners were discontented with their working conditions and low compensation. Under his leadership, a group of them armed and went to the Martian colony of New Sydney and in a coup d'etat took over the government. After the other colonies were taken over by the miners, they installed a provisional government on Mars. Knowing that the UEG would not tolerate this dissent, they surreptitiously armed the militia. Using stolen weapons and fighter craft, they deployed a ragtag battle force to combat the UEG forces. Taylor did not want to govern in the background, so he enlisted in the militia. He was placed in charge of the 3rd Battalion of the 1st Liberation Division. Under his leadership, they fought with distinction against UEG force ground units much larger than his. He utilized hit and run and guerrilla tactics and only took prisoners when it served his purpose. As a result, he was called the Butcher of Eridania. As a morbid checklist, he started to take the rank insignia from enemies he dispatched and attached them to a chain around his spacesuit. His troops started to soon follow suit. As a sign of respect the Earth Marines had for him, they posted a bounty on his head on the Solnet. As he looked around the Eastern Valley, he recalled what their mission was. Defeat the enemy in one last battle and force them to sue for peace. The leaders of the Martian colonies and the militia knew that the population of Earth was becoming tired of the war and already started anti-war protests. Taylor knew that with their newly acquired surface-to-air missile batteries, as well as anti-aircraft blaster guns, the enemy's fighter forces would have problems attacking his troops. Fighter support to the Marines would be virtually non-existent. In fact, he was privy to information that this offensive was leaked to the enemy in order to lead them into a trap. He smiled and got on the communicator and said, "When the fighters turn away without dropping their bomb loads, start the attack. Victory is ours." The battle turned in the Martians' favor as the Marines fell back about 20 kilometers. During the enemy airstrikes, Taylor looked with satisfaction as he saw an enemy fighter shot down. When he saw the aviator safely eject, he decided to capture him and present him to his leaders. This would be the trophy that would end the war. As he personally led the battalion, he saw a lone enemy fighter single-handedly destroy 4 fighters that tried to shoot him down. This put a sense of urgency to him, and he was determined to get this aviator. As Taylor brought his unit within sight of the downed aviator, the same fighter dropped bombs directly on his unit. His battalion was decimated by only 2 bomb runs, and he was severely wounded. He would have died, except that some brave survivors evacuated him from the area and repaired his suit. Ando saw enemy forces move in to try and capture his commander. He notified the rescue command that the enemy was approaching Maxwell. Ando still had his air-to-ground ordnance, so he started bombing the enemy forces to at least keep them back. However, the enemy kept coming, forcing Ando to press his attacks at dangerous levels above the ground. He kept this up until the rescue forces arrived in the area. Ando looked at his fuel state and saw that he was below bingo fuel, which was the level that he needed to safely return to base. He contacted the nearest refueling craft and flew up to join with it. By the time he arrived there, he was flying on fumes and inertia. Knowing that the rescue forces would need all the help they could get, he took on all the fuel he could and went back to the area. When he returned to the battlefield, he found that the enemy was still very determined to capture the commander and destroy any rescuers. Ando again kept enemy forces away, despite the fact he only had a small amount of gun ammo left. The rescue forces landed when it was clear and retrieved the commander, and they started back to the carrier as Ando escorted him. Then, when Ando returned to his ship, he received a hero's welcome. Maxwell tried to bring him on charges for disobeying orders and not completing the mission. But the carrier battle group commander talked to other air crews, and the story that he received was different. He then ordered Maxwell to write up the request for a decoration, which humiliated him. Despite the fact that Ando did not want too much attention, he continued to fly missions and shied from the media spotlight, stating that anyone would have done what he did.
The end of the Battle of Mars came with the Milan Accords a month later. They were a group of concessions the UEG had granted to Mars. Besides allowing a number of ex-Martian militia personnel to hold Space Defense Force rank, it guaranteed that 1% of the fleets in the Martian sector were manned entirely by Martian crews. They also placed strict limits on the number of deployed ships and squadrons from other sectors. It ended inconclusively because, despite the fact that the Earth forces won the air and space battles, the ground war bogged down in a quagmire. The home front was getting tired of an unpopular war and seeing body bags alongside coffins come home. The Martian separatists kept their mining operations, and Mars became a demilitarized zone that would be monitored by a joint Space Defense Force / Martian station in Mars orbit. After the war, Ando's career progressed successfully. In the year 2160, the Ando family would face their greatest challenge as both Mars and Jupiter were colonized, and a long-hidden vendetta would result in an even larger conflict.
For more of that, please go and purchase All's Fair, a Dolphin Wars novel. And thank you for listening. Jill, thank you for reading with me.
You're welcome. Now that I've read that prologue so many times, I really got to go and read the rest of the book.
Yeah. Oh, Lenrod says bravo.
Thank you, Lenrod.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And hello, Ms. Martin Muses. Ms. Martin Muses. Oh my goodness.
Hello, Miss Martin Muses.
Yes. Thanks for thank you, Sam.
I love your Silmarillion streams. One of these days I'll get around to actually reading it, but I do have it and I've read about 15 pages.
Oh, okay. You know, I've never read the Silmarillion.
It's a tough read, but it's some important history. Tolkien Middle Earth history.
Let's see. Lenrod says bravo. Legatus Legionai says bigger vendetta. We want more. Well, let's see. We'll see. Snort claps on all four paws. Thank you. Thank you. And Sandra says, nice job. It looks like everybody liked our reading.
Yeah, clapping on all four paws is not an easy feat.
No, it is not. Yes, no, it is not. Of course, from a bear that will dance to Macho Bear, if you read the Pudgy stories.
Snorter Poopus is in Pudgy stories now.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. You got to see that. That he is. He's the bomb. He is the bomb.
That's incredible.
Yeah. He's made it. Legatus put the book link out there. Thank you, Legatus. I am glad you all liked it. And Snort says, Macho Bear. Yep. And
I really had fun reading that.
Yeah, it was fun reading that. Especially, I mean, I've read it before out loud to people, but it's adding a second person really helps bring it out. So I thank you very much for volunteering to read it, and like I said, you gave Tanya an interesting personality.
Well, you wrote her to have such a great personality.
Yeah, true.
I like her.
Yeah. Let's see. For all things Dolphin Wars, use Linktree. Yes, please. Use Linktree. if you have multiple links. Thank you, Lord Thoth. Nice job. So, Sandra says, volunteer or voluntold. Well, I will leave that to... Boy, the comments are going all over the place, Jill. Lenrod says, Tanya, she's a weenie. Don't tell her that.
Well, I love literature and to read, and reading online is fun. So, yeah, it was a volunteer.
Yeah, see? No, I did not twist her arm to read it. So, but yeah, thank you for listening. Hope if you guys are interested in more reading, and it doesn't have to be the Dolphin Wars. In fact, I've been told it would hurt it would be spoilers if we started reading the book to people. But the reading the prologue should be enough to wet people's whistles to get the books, read the books, and review the books. Please put some reviews out there if you've read the books already. I know Snort has. I know Legatus has.
Yeah, just reading the prologue, you can tell that there's going to be some fun science fiction adventure to be had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, definitely. And so I'm glad everybody enjoyed the reading. Yeah.
You hear that, Sandra? I need cookies.
And Snoopy was actually quiet during the read. He was just as in suspense as we all were.
That's wonderful. I thought Sandra had helped Snoopy relax, but
No, he's sitting right behind me.
He just decided to chill out.
He's decided to chill out. Yes. Lenrod said, just finished Peacemaker, so I'm up to date and waiting for part 3. It's coming. It's coming. It is coming. Sandra says, getting a bit warm to bake, but she'll remember it. Okay, so you're on the list, Jill.
Nice. Always good to be on the cookie list.
Yes. Yes, she's great with cookies. And cookies always work for humans and also for doggos and hedgehogs. So, yes, cookies work. So, people, what did you think of the story? Well, I think most people have actually read the most people in here have read the books, at least one of them. That really sounded like a strong endorsement. Okay, cookies. Cookies are always acceptable payment. Let's see. How many dozens of cookies would it take for you to read some more, Jill?
I'm good with just a dozen. That's good.
Oh, okay.
That's a good start. That's a good start.
Apparently, they work for Egyptian gods too. Yep. So, okay. So, anybody? I guess everybody liked how we personified the Ando couple or the Ando Levy couple. Got it. They're not married yet. Snorapoopa says, you got to charge me for a word. It'd be a lot of cookies. Let's see. Lenrod says, if I get cookies, I'm down to read. Okay. We'll have to see. Doomcock usually...
He could be Maxwell.
He could be Maxwell. No, yeah, he could be Maxwell. Let's see. Doomcock gets about 6 or 7 dozen at Christmas. And Legata says, when are we going to get more of this audio novel read to us? Let's see how it goes, Legatus. Let's see how it goes. Married, you're giving out spoilers? They're only engaged at this point. Well, unless she dumps him out an airlock. I'm sure they're going to get married, and you've read the book, but to those who haven't, we'll see if they get married or he gets dumped out on airlock. After all, he does have, she has no compunction cold cocking him if he gets out of line. She has no compunction about that.
Yep, she's very honest.
She's very honest. Make it a reasonable charge, about 1 cookie for every 100 words. Okay, that'll work.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Yeah. Yeah, Sandra would be baking for a long time if it had to be the equivalent word count of the book. So, okay. Anybody else? Any other comments? Oh, I guess everybody is awed by our reading and the size of each cookies. That would be. Make it Chuck E. Cheese. Make it yeah. Like Lenrod, I was thinking the same thing. Dinner plate size. One of those big Chuck E. Cheese cookies.
Oh, like the ones that they sell at the mall.
Yeah.
The celebratory cookies.
Yeah. Hey, PJ. Let's see. Sandra says, a bit of cookie obsession tonight.
All right. Hi, PJ at Orville Nation.
How you doing? Make sure you check out the playback, unless you were listening as we were reading and just lurking. Jill is a very good audio reader.
Thank you. I plan on doing some audio reading on my channel.
Oh, good.
Not sure when, though.
Only thing is like the copyright stuff.
Right. I'd probably focus on stuff that's not copywritten or is more vague about it.
Yeah. So, yes, good to see you, PJ. Yeah, let's see. Wow, holy moly.
Yeah, PJ reminds me, 29 days until the Orville.
The countdown begins. 29 and counting. Been to Chuck E. Cheese once. It kind of sucked. Yeah, you won't get an argument from me. Let's see. Any... Boy. Yeah, glad you came on. Glad you caught us live. I know I've been trying to get you on. Maybe sometime when you get when you're ready, maybe you and Jill and I could talk Orville on a night.
Yeah, I'd be excited to do that.
Yeah. Plus, we still got. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh no, it's okay. Go ahead.
We still got some DS9 to.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Thank you, Jill, for subscribing. I thought you were already.
Oh, that's another account. I was on my other personal account, and I realized I wasn't subbed to you on my personal account.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. 29 long, long days. There's that. Yeah, 29 long, long days. And Snort says, I guess an author can read from his own book. Yeah, you would think so. I didn't get a slap for this, so. Yeah. Yeah, I was wondering that too. I was just telling Jill while we were in the green room, glad my voice survived after the 6 month. Oh yeah, Legatus, it was painful. Besides a sore throat, the tube on my CPAP popped out of my mask, and it was real. I guess because I was snoring then, it really hurt my throat all day Sunday. But fortunately, I was able to suck it up, and I'm back to. I was able to pull this off. We took our granddaughter. Yep, first time to Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, you don't go to Chuck E. Cheese for the food. You go to Chuck E. Cheese so the kids can run around and be crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Snort says it'll be a while for me since I don't pay for streaming services. Neither do I, Snort. When season 3 becomes available for free. Yeah, I think we actually get HBO Max as a freebie for being part of Xfinity, at least for how long.
Yeah, I don't have the source. I was looking for the source the other day, but I believe that Roddenberry wanted Star Trek to be free, and so the Orville should be free too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, on cable, or not cable, but like it should still be on Fox.
Mm-hmm.
It should still be in
network TV.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. Sandra, we still need to catch up on the Orville. Yeah. Yeah, we got to make this happen, Orville. We got a lot of I got June. I've got June and July to start scheduling. Lenrod says Jill's cheating with multiple accounts. I do too. Let's see. Snorted Poopus has been spared Chuck E. Cheese, yeah.
Well, yeah. The grown-up Chuck E. Cheese is Dave and Buster's.
Yes, that one I like, and the food is great.
Yes, the food is much better there, and the games too.
Yes. Pierre Kelly, hello, sir. I'm glad you're here. Hope you check out the playback and see how good Jill and I did on the reading of the prologue, and hopefully that's something we can start doing on an ongoing basis as another show.
Yep, I'm totally down for that. I love to read.
Okay. Cool. I just got to get around, unless we're going to read nothing but Dolphin Wars, which it wouldn't make me feel bad if we did a reading of Dolphin Wars. Maybe it would get more people interested.
That's true. It would. I'm already more interested. I need to read about Tran and Ando actually flying together.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. They don't have the ball pits okay. Oh, Mark D with the C. Hello, sir. Glad you're here.
Yeah, I think they took away the ball pit and the climbing tubes because of the pandemic, and they're just never going to bring them back.
Yeah, that's too bad. Let's see,
I
Pierre
think they took
Kelly.
out the playgrounds at McDonald's too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Mark D with a C. Glad you're here. Let's see. Oh, and let's see. Maybe it'll be. What the heck is main event? I know Dave and Buster. Never heard of main event. Legatus Legion I says, did you leave your big kid Raymond run around? Legatus, I don't think I had much of a choice. When you got a 5-year-old saying, Grandpa, come on, Grandpa. Grandpa doesn't have much choice in the matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you gotta follow the kid around.
Yep.
I know what that's like.
Yep. I think by the time the day was over, she had everybody following her around.
Hi, Mark D with the C.
Hey, Mark D. I'm glad you could come, and glad to hope you were listening if you were looking, or you get to check out the replay of it. It was a good read. I think this was the best read, and we rehearsed for about 2 months.
Yes, we did.
At least, yeah. Oh, he was looking. Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's the start. Things we're always trying to find ways to entertain people here at King Dolphin. The only thing I wish we had was
sound effects.
Yes, the
music.
old radio style. The old serial music. Legatus wants Blood Feud. I want Blood Feud too, Legatus. I want Blood Feud.
Yeah, because there's some exciting parts in your reading that could have used that.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. CEC without a ball pit or tubes is like Jillian's with no bowling alley.
Jillian's or the Enterprise 1701 without a bowling alley.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I wish they would have shown that in the episode.
Right? They could have had just one episode with Spock bowling. Why not?
Yeah, that would have. Yeah.
I failed to see the purpose of this.
Mm-hmm. As he goes strike after strike after strike.
You're right, because of his handle on geometry.
Yeah.
And physics.
Mm-hmm. Blenrod says he's surprised they're still in business. The only one that was anywhere near here closed down ages ago. Yeah. Dave and Buster. Oh God, that we need to make a major dish, as opposed to when we were living in Cleveland, where it was close by. We need to do a major excursion if we wanted to go to. We got to go to Baltimore to go to Dave and Buster's. And also, if we want to go like to the King Arthur's Court restaurant.
I have Dave and Buster's here.
Yeah.
A few years ago, we just got it. We don't have any King Arthur, though.
Yeah, I forgot the name of it, but it's sort of like King Arthur's. It was knights and jousting and whatnot.
It sounds like fun.
Yeah, except that's too far to go. Yeah. Sandra's explaining to Legatus what happened. Be patient, Legatus, just like me. Actually, what we're going to do is I'm going to make multiple copies of the cover of Blood Feud, and put them all together, and so you just see cover. Okay, that went over not well, but yeah, I'm still working on it. I'm hoping by fall we'll get Blood Feud.
That'll be good timing for Christmas sales.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And yeah.
And goodbye to Lord Thoth. He's got to leave.
Oh, we're okay. I missed that. Yeah, take care, Lord Thoth. Thank you for coming by, and we'll have to get on and talk about Legion, because Legion and Fantastic Four are my two favorite books or comic series. John Rendell's here. Hey, buddy. Yes, everything went well. We had a great show. Let's see. They had 3D chess. Why not 3D bowling? Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Snort says that always seemed like a odd use of space on a ship. I could see it being some sort of easily configured recreation area pre-holodeck. Maybe Starfleet had bowling copyrighted. Interesting. That's an interesting concept. They also had a swimming pool, the Enterprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually had a swimming pool. If you looked at the blueprints. Now that I would have liked to see the crew swimming in the swimming.
Yeah, me too. It'd be good.
Yeah. Okay, it's called Medieval Times. Thank you, Legatus. He knows everything. He is the researcher of the pod.
We got more of that stuff from TNG, where you get to see the crew having fun and doing recreational things, and then getting interrupted.
Yeah. Well, thing is the Enterprise D is the love boat.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't really argue too much with that. In some cases, you're right.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Snorta Poopa says maybe we need to have a bowling competition in the third Dolphin Wars book. That might be interesting. Oh, Lenrod has some great. He did some on his own. He did some drawings of the spaceships of Dolphin Wars, which I thought were really cool.
Nice. I haven't seen those yet. Where are they posted?
They're not. I've still got them on my email. So take care, John. Take care, and we'll see you Saturday.
See you later, John.
Yes, we'll see you Saturday. Let's see. A starship designed for polar bears would be one big swimming pool and ice rink. Well, I think Lenrod, since he sent them to me, I'm sure he does not mind. So let me see if I can share a screen. I have not. I'm looking. This interlude was brought to you by thedolphinwars.com. Okay. All right. I'm only going to show the Devil Ray since we pretty much know what the Devil Ray looks like. Okay. All right. Here we go. There's the Devil Ray. His first iteration of it.
Well, it looks really cool.
Yep. He took Fett's design and gave it a schematic.
Yeah, look at those details. That's
Mhm.
neat.
Yep. And actually, the way that is, I can be able to do a description of what's there is what the Devil Ray is all about. Let's see. Yes, he says version 2 is much better, and I'll show you that one. Okay.
Yeah, we have such talented people.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yes, we did. Hold on a second. My phone's away. Is that you contacting me? Okay. I have to get faster with getting rid of these comments. Let's see. Okay. Get to. Okay. Can you see that one?
I only see a black square.
Okay. Let's do a stop share. Yeah, I wish StreamYard did better.
StreamYard used to be great. You used to be able to share and then share this tab, but now they took that away and they messed with something.
Okay. And there's the second version of the Devil Ray. After I gave him after I talked to him about some design things.
Neat.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yep. The opening is the blaster.
Yes, I could see some weapon changes for sure.
Yeah. These would be the engines here. This big monstrosity is the electronic warfare and suite. And then most of the external is passive sensors. So it doesn't have it's sort of like an AWACS, but not an AWACS. Because it's got the antennas built in the skin of the craft. It's nice. I think it's a great craft.
I think so too. That's really well thought out.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but you can find out more about that once you get the book. Hey, Dalek 451 is here.
Yes. Hello, Dalek.
He just came from the stream, from the live stream.
Oh, the Doomcock member stream.
Yep. And so did and there's Deef. So, wow, we have quite a showing. Make sure you guys
let's read it again. I'm just kidding.
We can do it. If you're down for it, we can do it. But I think both our throats may be hurt.
Yeah, no, I was joking. They can
they can watch
rewind.
the replay. Yeah, they can rewind and listen to the replay.
Hello, Deef.
Hi, Deef. And let's see. So I think we got everybody. We got John Rendell's had to take off. And so, guys, I really hope you, Lenrod said made a few mistakes. Well, we just needed to talk about what we wanted to, what would better suit the devilry. And actually, I'm going to show another one of his designs, because this could be. Let's see. Okay. Okay.
So how soon? How soon until we get a 3D printed Ray?
Oh, that's an idea. That's an idea. I'll have to see what we can do about that. That would be cool. Okay. Here, this isn't much of a spoiler because we just talked about it in the book. There's Lenrod's version of a carrier.
Is that the Pappy Boyington carrier? Or,
yeah, I
just
think
a
it could be.
general one?
It could be the Pappy Boyington. They probably didn't change designs over the over 30 or 40 years. Carriers are made to last, so yeah, I could see this being the Boyington.
Cool.
Yeah. Yes, great job on this one, Lenrod. And there's the little fighters with the guy to scale.
Yeah, you can see one taking off.
Yep, you can see one taking off. So yes, we have some very talented people, and Lenrod says, believe it or not, the design is based on the Civil War era ironclad, the CSS Alabama. Yeah, I could see that. I like that design. So there is.
Very nice to take.
Yeah.
That's really wonderful. The best science fiction takes inspiration from reality.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah, and it is a very military bent, very military based book. I took a lot of it from my time in the Air Force, and added my own special touches to it. But it was pretty much off of my experience. Although I was never in the Navy. I had to research. Research.
Yeah, it's very smart to write what you know.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Deef says the X-Wing was based on a dragster. Yeah, I could see that. Deef.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. Well, I think we could probably start winding it down. Thank you, everybody, for coming over and checking out the debut of King Dolphin TV Radio, and see how this is going. If you want to get more readings, maybe we can do some stuff if we could figure out the copyright stuff, or if you do want to hear more of the All's Fair, let us know about that and we'll figure it out. See if we can do it. And again, Jill, I thank you very much for helping me out on this.
You're welcome. And I'm sure you could probably find some copyright-free music, since some of it has to have fallen in the public domain since the radio began.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Lenrod says we could do old public domain books as well. So very true. Sorry, Dalek.
I've done that to him before too, where he gets
it's
there.
Time zones.
It's time to go.
It's time zones.
Yes, he's in the UK.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Doc. You got to come by when you've got more time and can spend more time to chill. I'd love to have you on and talking and stuff.
Yeah, you can get him to talk about lots of Doctor Who. He knows
Oh, yeah.
Doctor Who inside and out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Sandra and him can kvetch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Snorter Poopa says, take care of human, dolphin, doggo, ferret. The list is growing longer and longer. Take care of human, dolphin, doggo, ferret, hedgehog, cat, and miscellaneous alien critter. Try saying that.
Who's the alien figure? Critter?
I do not know. So yeah, we'll have to get on and get you on here, Dalek. I'll ping you and we'll see what is going to happen. Let's get some show notes out of the way. The 11th, we've got an open spot. I am working to fill that, so I'll be just as surprised as you will when it comes up. On the 18th, we're going to have a male pilot forum. Time for the guys to get on. It's going to have Bill Whittle, Scott Florick, Rich Judy, and Gary Smith, and we'll talk flying. And the 25th, again, flying, but this time it's going to be the 99s. Lynn Kaywood is going to talk about the 99s Women's in Aviation organization that's been around since it was actually formed by Amelia Earhart. So it's been around.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. So it's been around a long time. And the Air Race Classic that they do. So she'll be doing that on the 25th. On the 1st of June, man, June already. June, we're going to have on the 1st, we're going to have Dillard Draws. He's going to
nice. Dillard Draws. That's awesome. He's yeah.
And on the 8th, you and I are back with DS9.
Oh, okay. This is news to me.
If that's okay. Otherwise, we can.
Yeah, that's okay. But let me know what the topic is so I can prepare for that.
Oh, yeah. We got plenty of time. I thought I mentioned that. Oh, well.
Well, you did, but not a date.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if we can go later. I mean, if you want more time.
Yeah, sure. Just depending on what the topic is. How many?
Sure.
How much I need.
Yeah, we can do that. Let's see. So that is what's coming up through June, and let us say, show my appreciation and shout out to everybody. The Legatus Legionii, as always, first in, last out. The most patient wrench ever. Yeah, right. Snorter Poop. Wait. John Rendell was here. He came on for a little bit. And we had Sandra as the wrench wench, running everything, talking to people, tossing messages at me to get rid of the comments. Yes, I gotta keep learning it. And of course, there's Snoopy.
I have that problem too, especially when you're sharing your screen. You hide an entire guest with the comment.
Yeah. There's Snoopy right there in his natural state. And of course, Florida Poopas! Cuba. See you Saturday, buddy. That dog looks so relaxed. Yep, there is the Snoop. And
Yeah, that didn't work.
what? Yeah, it did.
Oh, the stream elements for my my link
Yeah.
goes to a video.
Oh,
That's okay. You
oh,
can fix it later.
oh, that's right. Okay. Okay, then I just put it to a okay. Yeah, I gotta
Yeah, don't worry about that now. It's all good.
okay. Yeah. Yeah, I just realized it. The guy that says sentient beings from the small to those from another planet take care one and all. You too, Legatus. And Tim the Enchanter, you are here.
Hello, Tim.
Hey, Tim. Put a joke out there. We'll read it for you. Let's see. So we had, as part of the chat, we had Lord Thoth. We had Lenrod. We had Ms. Martin Muses. PJ was here. Pierre Kelly was here. The amazing Mark D with a C. Dalek 451. And Tim the Enchanter. And his pun book. I'm sure I want one book before we go. We got to have one joke. But yeah, if you came on late and weren't lurking, please go back and listen to the read. It was a great audio read, and hopefully the start of many more from King Dolphin TV's Kdtv radio session. So everybody, thank you very much for being here. Glad you like it. I'm sorry it was a bit shorter, but we were just focusing on the reading, and it was boy, people are just coming in. Hi, hey, son of a red
Right?
shirt.
Hello, son of a red shirt. He's a magnificent YouTube
Yeah,
friend.
just we're starting to wind down. Well, thank you for coming. Please watch the stream and see the reading, and like and subscribe if you haven't already. And there it is. There's the joke. I was going to tell a joke about a dead parrot, but it is too macabre. I think Beth Arsted's got competition.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. Beth may lose. Beth may lose to Tim the Enchanter.
Yeah, that's very possible.
Legatus
Tim the Enchanter can help out Harvey.
Yeah, that's true. Harvey needs all the help he can get. Legatus is just begging for more. He wants
chapter 1.
He wants chapter 1.
I want chapter 1.
Huh?
Yeah, that sounds like fun, maybe.
Yeah, let's think about chapter 1. Let's think about chapter 1. Maybe to really wet the whistle. We'll see how that goes. So sorry guys, I know this is short, but on a weeknight, weeknights are usually left for interviews, and for interviews because they can be shorter. But please come out to Just Cuz on Saturdays, where we go longer, we become funnier, and we just have lots and lots of fun. So on behalf of Team Dolphin, and thank you very much, Jill. You're a wrench here, you're a friend here, and thank you for doing the reading with me. And,
you're welcome. It was a pleasure.
Making it a lot more special than just me yammering about it. So everybody, and stick around after I turn off so we can talk about it. So,
alrighty. Yes,
all right.
Deep Space Nine.
Yeah. Yep. So everybody, let's make some waves. Be safe. See you Saturday, and have a good night.
Good night.
This segment is brought to you by thedolphinwars.com.